I know I haven't made a reel for a while, and I have been out of town, actually out of the country. I have a small studio out of the country with my daughter, and I paint over there, but I have very limited colors, not a lot of brushes, and so I'm back in my other studio that I use when I am in town, which has all my colors and all my brushes, and all I'm doing today is just doing an exercise. I'm not looking for a finished product. I'm just trying to work on a piece of paper that I got. It's called, let's see, it is Palette Paper Pad, and it's by Artist Loft, 9" by 12 inches, and I prefer to use the not use the shiny side. So all I'm doing today is just exercising, and it's just a good way, especially if you're a beginner, to get your style down, to look at composition, to look at values. I'm working with a cool palette, and every once in a while I just need to take a break from doing commissions, and I'm getting ready for a show in February for Valentine's Day, so I just really wanted to do some exercising. One of the things I like to do is I use a lot of white gesso for my white. It's great to blend with other colors, and it gives you different values. It gives you a beautiful shade of gray when you combine it with the black. And here I'm just using, I think, a number 4 brush to make some dots. I'm working on a smaller canvas, so I'm trying to use a smaller brush. I turn it over and I like to make some scratches in it. Gives the painting some texture. I also love working with palette knives because you have no control. And you're going to see in this video that at some point I do work with palette knives, and it gives it a whole different look. You'll see here I'm just using black again to make some more colors. And then at one point I have trouble getting my white paint down. I go back to my gesso, my white gesso. I like this brand from, I think it's Liquitex that I've been using, and it seems to work real well for me, and it's not that expensive, especially if you're new and starting out. Try to get Liquitex paints, and they're basic paints. Don't try to get any professional grade. You can get them over at Michael's, or Joann Fabrics has them, and it's a great way to start out. But I am working with cooler colors, and you can see that I am not focused in any direction. I don't have a swatch of fabric in front of me that a interior designer gave me, so I'm just trying to work within colors that I enjoy. I love trying to blend and see how different colors interact. Here I'm adding a little bit of brown, which is not a common color that I use, and now I'm grabbing the palette knife. I love how I got my slipper involved in this painting, so sorry about that. I'm gonna have to get a different camera angle for you. But brown is not one of my favorite colors to use, but I did add it here. And then I'm gonna go right back in with that aqua color turquoise that I love, and you'll see that in all my paintings, some variety of that, whether it's a lighter hue or a darker. There's always some aqua turquoise colors. Just one of my go-to colors. It works great with warm or cool color palette, and I just always gravitate towards it. Now I am using a bigger brush here, very hard on my brushes, and I would recommend, if you're a beginning artist, you don't have to buy expensive brushes. I go through brushes very quickly, and a lot of times I will only get a Michael's or Joann Fabric brush. Here I'm adding some dots just to give it some variety and some lines. As you know, I'm very inspired by beach colors, and that seems to be my favorite go-to colors, the sand and the way the sun moves across the sky gives the beach and the water all different colors that I always tend to go back to, especially when you live in Florida. Now here I had trouble getting out some white paint, and I'm adding it to the bottom. I like sections where you can rest your eye, and when you do that with the white paint here, it gives you some places that you don't have to see color. I think that's very important when you're trying to do a piece. But again, I'm not trying to go with anything in mind except the freedom to work on a piece of paper that I probably will end up throwing out, but I'm just doing a little exercise before I go onto a canvas. I would recommend that as a beginner, to just buy some paper and just experiment. Now I always add a different color just to add some quick touches. And here I'm taking a palette knife again, and I'm just adding some little red. This is Nova Color Red, and I'm just giving it a little bit of a different accent to this piece. So again, I'll probably throw it out, but I just wanted you to see what I do when I need to just take some time to exercise. If you have any questions, leave me a message down below.